South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Saturday. This is Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. I'm Alex White. Excited to be here with you today. A lot to get to. We have 2 big games for the Crown Tournament here in Las Vegas. We also have 2 Final Four games. Houston and Duke and Auburn and Florida rematch from a game we've seen earlier this year. We also have a full slate of hockey and baseball coming to you shortly. Please jump in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, comments, we'll also probably have a poll in there coming shortly from Sean and Andrew. Again, Sports by the Book. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please follow us on all social media. We have a lot of content going out daily. Thanks to everybody working behind the scenes. So let's get right into it. JR is already here. Good morning. I'm sorry, Johnny. There is no trivia on the weekends for you to win again, but we're happy that you are joining us. It was another late night. Aviators are here, their first 2 homestands. It's been a lot of fun. It's been really good baseball out there. So if you are in Las Vegas, come see us. 2 more games for this series against the River Cats. 5-2 to start the year for the Aviators. So as I mentioned, a lot of fun, really good baseball. JR just reminded me because he is out there as well. Good morning. Kenny White is at the desk.
Yes.
For the full hour 15, hour
Good
30
morning,
show.
Alex. Yeah, however long we go today. Busy day. And, I thought by now I'd be slowing down, but I have not. And, yesterday was, you get these surprising losses every once in a while that you're like, how did I lose that? Well, how did I win that? And then how did I lose that? The Texas, I don't know if anybody watched the Texas, South Carolina game. Both coaches, and sometimes you just have to kind of think what the coaches are going to do. I thought it was going to be a very low-paced game. Well, Texas and South Carolina, both coaches said, hey, the opponent's defense is so good, we got to get on the break as fast as we can. We've got to get open looks really quick. We can't work deep in the shot clock. If we do, we'll never get a good shot. Both teams pushed the pace in the first half. There were 74 possessions, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That those two never play that fast. They didn't shoot lights out, but they shot well enough to get 73 points in the first half. I was fortunate to go under 126.5. Not fortunate, but most people that I told bet that go under 124 because I made it 117. When I saw that score, I said, there's no way they can run. So I hope people understand these teams do revert back to their DNA, and both teams, it's slow the ball down and play defense. So I went under 139.5 for the full game at halftime, and that was an easy winner. But I don't know if you saw the end. South Carolina's defense locked down on Texas, and they could not score. It was on 121 with 50 seconds to go and a 19-point lead. You're going to get one shot for Texas, and South Carolina is going to dribble it out, and that game's going to fall 123, 99 out of 100 times. Both coaches emptied their benches. South Carolina girl shot, boom, makes the two-pointer. Texas runs right down, layup, good. South Carolina comes down, three-pointer, swish. Texas goes down, three-pointer, swish. The bench players were 4 for 4, scored 10 points in 50 seconds in a blowout game. There was no dribble out, nothing, and it was like, are you kidding me? That's a new way to lose a game.
So you only lost the first bet, though, right? You were fine with your...
Yeah, I broke even on the game because I bet the game under, but it was an opportunity to...
Yeah.
It was a 2% play, so it was an opportunity to pick up 4% on my bankroll in that one game, and I thought it was going to happen, and I knew at halftime I thought there was a chance it could happen. I said, well, I need 2 25-point quarters for my clients because they all went under 124. I needed 2 26-point quarters. And when I looked at the end of the third, it was on 26. And I said, yes, with 7 seconds left, and South Carolina hit a 3 in the last 7 seconds of the third to put it on 20. I said, that's okay. We could get a 25-point or 24-point fourth quarter. And I looked back, I think with 5 minutes halfway through that fourth quarter, there had only been 10 points scored. And I said, this is perfect. Keep it going. Keep it going. But the bench went 4 for 4 in the last 50 seconds of the game. It's surprising they even got a shot off so fast after a timeout, and they emptied the benches. And if they miss that shot, the game's over. It lands 121. If they make it, I feel like the other team just dribbles out, and that's the game. But those gals took their shots, and they hit every single one of them.
Pretty crazy for the women's side. South Carolina 74-57 over Texas, and UConn really put it on the number 1 overall seed UCLA 85-51. So we'll have a short special, short and sweet, coming out either later tonight or tomorrow morning with all of your thoughts on the championship game coming up. A rematch from 2022 with South Carolina and UConn.
It's going to be a great game. They played earlier in South Carolina, and Connecticut blew their doors off.
Yes, they did.
But things change quickly. Connecticut, as I mentioned on, I think it was Wednesday's show, the three of us, we talked. Jeff asked me about the women's, and I said Connecticut's the best team in the country. They are number 1, but that revenge factor is going to be a real deal. I think it shows up in this game, and this could be another game where both coaches know the defenses are so good. They could push the pace a little bit in the first half. So I still haven't made my number on it because we are doing a special on that, on the women's championship game that will be played on Sunday. So we will have that today. It'll be up hopefully sometime later today or tomorrow morning.
Confidently can say 2 best coaches in women's college basketball between Gino.
They're both very, very good.
Okay.
Yes. I haven't handicapped it long enough now to know who the best coaches are. I do have a list at home that, when I see some coaches coach, I know that they're really good coaches. So I got a list of about 10 coaches that I want to keep following. So when I rate the players out for next year, I know to, upgrade those players. And I've got a short list of coaches that I think are not worthy of their position. So I will underrate them next year.
Okay. Well, let's get into some men's college basketball. As I mentioned, we've got 2 games for the crown. So these 4 teams have all locked in $50,000 to split between the team. The winner of these 2 games.
Do these kids get it? This doesn't go into the nil account. These kids actually get the money.
I believe these kids get the money.
Well, that's really incentive.
Yeah.
That's great that's the case. So if they win this, they've all locked in 50. Though to split.
To split.
50,000.
It doubles.
Each team to split.
If they make it to the championship.
If they win this, they get 100.
Correct.
To split. So.
And then I believe the winner gets 300,000 to split.
It was at the hockey game the other night. We talked about that, and Boise State was there. Don't know what other team was there. It was either Central Florida or Villanova, and all four could have been there for all I know. I just thought, man, these tickets are so expensive. I wonder if they got them tickets, if the Crown got them in, if they had hopefully they had a suite that those kids would just go to a suite. They probably did. I was just daydreaming about it, like yesterday. Where did they sit? Well, these guys are so big. I mean, we're walking in and they're like 6'12",
Yeah.
6'11", 7 foot. I wanted to exaggerate. I was trying to exaggerate. They're like 6'16", or 6, and I said 6'12", so that equals 7 foot. I do know that. But yeah, I was wondering if they, the university probably took care of it. I'm guessing the university took care of the bill, or the head coach could have. Those coaches make so much money they can afford to take their team to a game.
Yeah.
What am I thinking? So,
it's a shame the Knights didn't have a better outing. Could have gained a lot of new fans there.
Yeah, every night they could do that. They were just flat. I feel like they were flat. I don't know why, because they clinched a playoff spot, but they hadn't clinched first in the conference. So, but you know what? Great teams can make you look flat, and that Winnipeg is a great team, top point producer in hockey right now. A lot of people worry about them being able to make a run. They don't believe they can make a run. A lot of people equal them to like Toronto.
Yeah.
Struggle in the playoffs for some reason.
They're still double digits to win it all. I was looking at some odds.
Winnipeg, really?
At least 10-1.
They looked awfully good to me. Their defense was fabulous.
And Hellebuck is having the best year of his career, which says a lot. But a lot of people worry about him in the big game and kind of put blame on him for the USA-Canada game, which I don't really think is fair. That was a revenge spot with the round robin and how they played, and USA came out so hot that first game. And then,
the one goalie, our good friend Brian Blessing would say, Jordan Bennington is standing on his head.
Oh my gosh.
And you said it the other day, he's been doing that since the Four Nations.
Yeah.
That he won the Four Nations, and he has been on fire, and St. Louis is on fire. So how long can that streak continue? It can continue through the playoffs. So that's a team. What are the St. Louis Blues odds?
They're probably pretty good.
Their talent level is not as high as those other teams in the West. But when you get a hot goalie and the team feels it and they're playing great defense, it brings everybody up another level.
I can't take credit for that. That was Dwayne Colucci, though. From the rear part. Yeah, so you must have been listening. He was a guest with me before you popped on yesterday. So, yeah, yes, he did say that.
I was listening. NY Bookie.
NY Bookie, Dwayne, yes.
Yeah, Dwayne's a great guy, and he had a lot of really good points. And so I know you guys were talking some hockey, and I heard it. I was working at the same time. I was listening to know when I was coming on.
Yeah.
So.
All right,
let's do some Crown.
Yes, let's do some Crown. So Boise State, a favorite over Nebraska. Higher totals because we've seen a lot of these games go over, but curious your thoughts on if you think these will be more of under games here and more defensive battles now that we're getting down to the end. 155 is the total here at the South Point. Boise State seems to be getting most of the action, did open 2.5, and now they are sitting 3 pretty much everywhere.
I made them 3, and you're right. These games have been really high scoring, but I feel like now you're telling me that each one of these players is going to get more money if they win this game. That brings a little bit more pressure into it, a little bit more meaning now, and I think things could slow down. Boise has been a team that has not been they're a slow-down team. They've played faster in this tournament because, again, I always say that these tournaments are made to have fun, and that's what they've done. And now they're at a point, I think, though, it's real. We just locked in some money. We each got, I don't know what they're going to get, $2,500 each if they split it up between 20 people on the staff. And I don't know if it's just the players are getting it or what. Who can get nil? I would think the coach could get nil as well if the players can, but maybe he doesn't. And the coach probably would say, I don't want it, and maybe they get 3,000. So they know they've won 3. Now they can win another 3. I made the total 143 without taking anything off.
Okay.
What is it?
155.
Yeah, I'm Oh, I did take 4 points off. I'm sorry. I would have made it 147. So even if I don't take any points off, I still have a play under in this game. And a lot of it has to do with Boise's defense as well. Extremely solid defensive team. Leon Rice has always been a defensive coach. You can go back and look over the years. Boise State's defense is always, a top 40, top 50 defense, where their offense sometimes is in, between the 80s and 100 ranking. For Nebraska, they play much better defense than their offense this year. Looking at their rankings, 65th on offense, really good, 42nd on defense. And their pace isn't extremely fast either. Their last game that they just played against Georgetown, the pace was 68 in that game. So I see this game as a 66, 67 pace. I just don't see the extra points being scored here. I made Boise 3, and I think it'll be a close game. So, yeah, let's go under here this morning.
If I'm not, Georgetown actually plays even faster typically than Boise State. So that does help as well. Lean to the favorite here, just the better team. Some will say Boise should have been in the NCAA tournament, but did run into Colorado State, and we saw what a good team that was, and they did get one win in the big dance there. So I know your number's right on, but favorite lean?
Yeah. I really don't have a feel for either team right now, and make sure that Raleigh Worcester has not played for Nebraska. He is worth a 1.5 to the betting line. Boise's got all their guys in. So, yeah, definitely lean to Boise State in this game. And I just wanted to send this bet to my group.
The under?
Yeah, the under.
Oh, very good. Checking in with the chat one more time. Attila is in there, who I also know from the ballpark, Vicarious Vegas. Welcome back, Greg. Vicarious Vegas said they locked in -2.5, I believe. Sean behind the glass is on Boise at a better number as well. Let's go to the second game. We do have a Cinderella story in March, not in the big dance, but Central Florida does not have all their players, but found a way to get to this spot. Villanova kind of expected to be here, one of the favorites in this crown. They are 3.5, total 156.5.
Well, I'm going to get to my page on Villanova, and then I'll give you the line. I found the page. I made Villanova 4.5 and 149. What's that line right now?
156.5.
So what's the side?
3.5.
3.5. So right there. And as you mentioned, Central Florida's best player is not playing here, Keyshawn Hall, but they've had some others step up and play really good basketball. The win over Cincinnati was a really nice win. The win over Oregon State was a good win, but Oregon State had 4 starters out.
Right.
So Oregon State really kind of showed their depth in that game. Yeah, I think this total is just a little bit high now because, again, we're talking about, a little more money. Central Florida does like to push the pace. Villanova does not. And Villanova played a 62 pace versus USC, 67 pace versus Colorado. And they're going to try to keep this down a slower pace game. That'll be they're right now they're talking about how are we playing this game, or the last 2 days. It's not Kyle Neptune, it's the interim head coach is saying, play our game. They want to run. That's how they play. We want to make this a half court basketball game. So that's an under as well.
Typically, the favorite or the better team can dictate the pace and.
Yeah, and a lot of times even the weaker team can control that pace. As long as they're not much weaker, because I've seen it in the NCAA tournament. Princeton years ago used to come in. They're a team that would be ranked, in the 125th ranking, and they're playing a 1 seed in Georgetown, who's one of the top teams in the country, and they slow that thing down to a crawl.
Right.
And it's a 49-48 final, and Georgetown barely gets out alive. But the team with a slower tempo can definitely slow these games down if they want to. So this should be a really good tournament. And again, with money at stake, I always say that there's a little bit more pressure, and these teams, defense really comes into it now that, hey, if we're going to win and get some more money coming towards us,
Right.
we better play defense today. So I like them both under.
Like both of those staying under. We are going to get to the Final Four, which we both like an under in one of those as well. You may like both. I haven't really got to talk to you about this much. I do just want to give a shout out to Todd Dewey. I say that right?
Yeah.
With the Review Journal, because he did a nice article that went out yesterday for me winning the Review Journal college basketball, and asked for my best bet and a little bit of my handicapping strategy. So I don't know if he ever watches our show, but if he does, I really appreciate it and wanted to say thank you for that.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Congratulations once again. Keep racking up the accolades.
Review Journal contest, sign me up anytime. I like those, right? I had a good year with
Yeah, you did.
with his contest.
You should have won the football contest. You lose by a half a game or by the tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a nice lead in that too. Bruce Marshall had a really good run at the end just to catch you. So, but yeah, congratulations once again. That's great.
And my best bet that I put in that article is Houston and Duke going under this 137. I think that's the best number you can get here at the South Point. Duke is 5.5 now. I've been wondering when we were going to see that hook again. It looked like it was just stuck at 5. But yeah, breaking down these two teams, and you really brought it to my attention with Duke. I mean, they're flashy. Everybody knows them for their offense, but they are also a phenomenal defensive team. And we know Houston's number 1. We know Kelvin Sampson has been so consistent the last 5 years. He's had a top 5 defense in the country, the last 3, top 3. So we know exactly the style that they want to play. So I do love that under. Both these teams will be okay with the half-court game, right?
Yeah, Duke can play in the half court. They showed that against Alabama.
Yeah.
That was their strategy. Coach Shire said they want to run. We're not going to allow them to. We're gonna slow this thing down, and we're gonna see who the better team is in the half court. And Duke was the far better basketball team in the half court. This might be a game though. He says, "Hey, we got to get out."
I was gonna say with your South Carolina and Texas.
I mean, he might say we got to look for opportunities early because this is the real deal defense. So this game could get off to a little higher scoring start, and you got to be careful of that. But Duke's defense is so good. That's the special thing about Cooper Flagg. You never see a kid this young be that good defensively. He's the defensive player of the year. As a freshman, that shows how good he is on both ends of the court, and he will be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. This Houston team just knows how to lock you down. They really do. The scary part when you do have under, they do have 3 or 4 really good 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
And they start to hit them, you're in trouble. But Alabama couldn't hit their threes against them. And I'm not sure if Houston can either.
I would like Houston. And okay, so give me your thoughts on this. Because the number is pretty close, I want to take a little flyer here. So I'm already on the under, but I want to take a little flyer on Houston money line. We've seen Duke really just, break away at the end, and Arizona did cover, but Alabama looked like they were going to cover, and then they lost by 20, right? So I think if Houston is in this game, it may be them with a lead the entire game, right?
And that could be.
So I think it's almost worth taking a little shot at that plus 240, and maybe I split it and take some with the points because that is what we typically do. We aren't huge money line players when it comes to the dogs.
Yeah, I would suggest a 1% play on Duke plus the 5.5, and then maybe a 0.5%. And that's even a little high because you're getting plus 240.
Yeah.
But if you want to go that direction, maybe a 0.5% on the money line. I like that because I like Houston. I like the revenge factor from losing last year.
Yep.
I added that in, and I do also have a play. I took 5.5 with Houston, and I'm right there with you, rooting for Kelvin Sampson. I'm just rooting for an under because the under's a much bigger play.
Well, okay, and having this much time to prepare, I feel like Kelvin Sampson does have the edge here. He has been a head coach in college basketball for many more years than
John Shire. He's
Shire.
made some good decisions though in his short time as the head coach of Duke. The other reason for the under, we've talked about the dome and playing in the Alamo Dome, and it's a football field, and the basketball court's going to be at the 50-yard line, and there's going to be seats that are around that area, which would be the playing field of the football, and they just kind of slowly go up as bleacher type seats. The depth perception is so much different than the regular courts. It is interesting to me that the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games have had a drop-off of about 12 points per game, 6 points per team from the betting totals compared to the games that are not played in these domes. But the Final Four games have only been like an 8 to 9 point drop-off. So about 4 points per team.
I heard somebody say more unders for like Elite 8, less time to prepare, right? Kind of that one-day turnaround.
Yeah.
But then going for the Final Four, you have a lot of time to prepare, could lead to more scoring and
I always like to think
more
and it all depends on what the coach is working on, and that's in this game. Duke's had to have thought about how are we going to score? How are we going to score in this game? So that leads me to think that. But again, I feel like I have the safety net of playing at the Alamo Dome, that the total is a little overinflated because they're crafting this total as if it was played in a regular basketball arena.
Houston, Tennessee stayed way under. That total was being bet up all the way until tip off there. And I don't remember how that Purdue game, that might have went over because it was such a tight one. With Houston just trying to think of what they've done so far.
Oh, I think that game went under too.
Did it?
I believe it did. Yeah. Well, they didn't play there though.
Okay.
That round they played somewhere else.
Right. This is actually more of a home game.
They played in Indianapolis.
We know how good Duke travels.
Which was another, it's a football stadium. So you're right. They did play in the football stadium. The Purdue-Houston game went easily under.
Okay.
It was 62-60. Yeah, it was
the one game.
I think the total was like 140.
Okay.
In that game, and it went way under. And the Tennessee game also was a lot higher.
Yes.
Total 137 maybe in that range, and it came 119. And now here we are back again in another dome. So maybe advantage Houston a little bit because they played in a dome already, and now they're playing in another one where Duke hasn't seen that.
And they're young.
Duke was playing in Newark, New Jersey, in the Prudential Center, and Raleigh, North Carolina, which was a home game. I bet Duke both the first two games because they were playing at home. It was a really nice bet against Baylor, and then bet against them. I took the points with Arizona, covered that, and then I took the points with Alabama and thought that was a really good play. And also my thought process was, you talked about this, they haven't been in a lot of close games.
Yeah.
They're not used to being in close, tight games. North Carolina in the ACC tournament, they had a 20-point lead against Carolina without their best player. And North Carolina came storming back and almost won that game. I believe if they hit 2 free throws, they would have won the game. But there was a lane violation, something I can't recall. But there was an opportunity for Carolina to win that game in regulation. So they haven't been in tight spots. It's been a long time. The Clemson game on the road, February 8th, they lost 77-71. So we'll see. They've been there before. I mean, they've had, it's not like they haven't ever been in a tight spot. They have been. They lost 3 games this year. The Kentucky game, they lost by 5, and they lost to Kansas by 3. And if you go back, those are some of the best defensive teams they faced this year.
Right, exactly. So it was a bad matchup for Alabama, and we thought they could shoot their way to hanging around, but they were coming off of their best offensive game against BYU. So a little bit of regression there.
It's funny. Then I said I thought they tried to slow that down and turn it into a half-court game. There was still 73 possessions in that Alabama game, and that's because once the lead started to balloon, Alabama really tried to push the pace. They went into high-octane level.
Yes.
And, if they would have kept the pace they were on in the second half, the way they were playing, if they did that the entire game, they would have had 85 possessions for the game. So Duke did a great job early on and slowed that thing down.
I hate that panic mode that teams get in. What is the alternative? Just, all right, we're down by 10, but slow down.
Yeah.
Run your offense. Take good shots.
Right.
Rather than just throwing up anything.
When you've been successful all year doing what you're doing, it's hard to change, at that juncture. So neither one of these teams really have to change here. I think Duke will try to look to get out on the fast break a little bit. But Alabama's too good. Houston's just too good defensively. I don't think they're going to allow them. I don't think they'll, even if you want to, I still don't think they're going to let you, get out and run. They're going to force Duke into a half-court game, and Duke's going to say, fine, we know how to do this. We can play that way.
One of the most fun bets here during March is 1st to 15, and we do have a lot of props and player props, team totals here at the South Point. Sheet just came out this morning. 1st to 15, best number you can get is on Houston. It is plus 130. Auburn on the other side is plus 110 for the other game. So a little bit of value there with the Cougars if you think that they are going to try and suffocate them immediately, double team, trap, and maybe hit a few three-pointers to get to 15 first. Sean actually has a great poll going in our chat where he asked which one people like the most of those four, and a little bit of a favorite there too. We also have exact outcomes, which after we talk about Florida and Auburn, I'll ask you which two you think are going to win today to move on, and if there is any value on an exacta here between the four teams.
Well, I hope, Duke's the better team, and I made them the favorite. But I bet Houston plus the 5.5 because of the revenge factor.
Yep.
So I'm going to be rooting for Houston to win the game. And then if Houston does win, I think they win the national championship because that defense is too good that they'll shut down Auburn or Florida. So I guess Florida is the better team. So a Houston over Florida pays 9-1. It's not a bad return.
No, not at all. Wait, yes, you're right. Houston over Florida 9-1. Over Auburn is 12-1. So that is Auburn over Houston is the long shot there. Okay, 15-1. Thank you, Sean, for pulling those up. I wanted to ask. I did hear somebody compare because Jeff has talked about it a lot. He's like, this is the best Final Four we've ever had.
Yes.
I heard somebody compare the last Blue Bloods, all Blue Bloods in New Orleans. That I got to go there with you. You were working that with CBS Sports. Nova, North Carolina, you brought them up.
Right.
Duke, Coach K's last year.
Yep.
And Kansas. Kansas ended up winning and beating North Carolina. So is this close?
That was so much fun. That just to be there in New Orleans with those four teams in the Final Four. I'm sure it's a great weekend in San Antonio. Does it come close? Yeah, it comes very close.
And it's a new era, right? Because the SEC was so dominant this year, and to see two SEC teams in is pretty incredible. Yeah,
no doubt about it. And the South Point was the first on it.
Yes.
Chris Andrews and Vinny put the prop up. SEC versus the world. They were the first ones to do it. And look at their thinking came out right on the money that there is going to be an SEC team in the championship and there's going to be a non-SEC team in the championship. It doesn't get any better than that.
It's pretty incredible. And I've actually seen it on mainstream media saying, is it an SEC team or the field? Which would you want?
And Duke is going to end up being the favorite if they're in.
Yes.
And I think maybe Houston will be the favorite as well. So they had the non-SEC the favorite.
That is interesting because if Houston beats Duke, they probably should be the favorite going in the championship game.
Those guys have a magic ball somewhere.
Yeah.
They're looking at it. Tell us who's going to win now.
Yeah. Vinny, he was really on the SEC from the beginning of college basketball season. I think that prop was his idea. So props to him and Chris Andrews for helping make the number and putting it up there first. Let's go to the second game. Speaking of the SEC.
Oh, is there another game?
Auburn and Florida, these two have already played each other. Florida went to Auburn and beat them earlier this year. So there is that revenge factor, but a little concerning with Broome being injured. They say he should be good to go and available, right?
No,
but
he's 100%, yeah.
Are we sure? 100%.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Okay.
He went through practice, no problem, last couple days, and they said he's 100%.
So just taking the number, what it is, what do you have Florida here over Auburn?
I'm going to give the revenge factor in that, and I would have had the game 3, but I'm going to make it 1. Florida 1 and 161.5 because of both these teams' offenses. And I took 4 points off, too, for being such a big game. And the total is just a little bit lower. I didn't take points off for being in the dome. And if I did that, I'd make it, 157.5. You're still right there. I have nothing on the side or total in this game. So, it's just going to be a game that I'll watch and see if I can make a, in-game bet at one point, one of these teams. Again, these games are played, on different runs. One team makes a run, the other team makes a run. So one team makes a run in this game, I'll probably come back on the other team, at a nice plus price to knowing that by the end of the game, it should be a tight game.
Feels like Auburn might have peaked just a little bit too early. Florida, though, very fortunate to be in this spot, and that might be a team that you could grab points with. If anything like the Texas Tech game or the UConn game, which you were all over, you thought 9 was way too many points for the defending champion, and it was. Florida was lucky to win that one too. But they've been there, done that now. They've been tested. They've won these tight games. So if they fall behind, might be a good spot to jump in with them. And that is the earlier game. Of course, rotation number, we do have Duke and Houston first, but Auburn and Florida will be the earlier game.
Yeah, and you go back and look at Auburn's schedule, and again, I tell people the better feel you can get for teams, the more money you can make betting sports. So Auburn was 26-2, 14-1 in the conference, and they go to Kentucky, and they hadn't beaten Kentucky in 100 years in Lexington. And they did it in fashion, 94-78. They head to Texas A&M now in a meaningless game and could have cared less, and they lost by 11 because their next game was at home against Alabama, their biggest rival.
Yes.
So they had a chance to sweep Alabama. They had already beaten them at Bama, and they already clinched the SEC, and Bama beats them in overtime in a great game. Those teams were going back and forth all day long. Conference tournament starts. They win against Mississippi. They get that conference tournament win, and then Tennessee just played a great defensive game, slowed them down, and made that a half-court game, and they beat them. NCAA tournament, Alabama State, obviously an easy win. Don't think they covered, though. They win by 20. They did cover against Creighton, win by 12, barely. I think the line in that game was 10.5, in that range, somewhere in there. I know I had Creighton in that game, and I lost. Beat Michigan handily, and I bet Michigan that game, and I watched that game. It was a tight game throughout, and I don't know when it was, about 12 minutes to go. Auburn hit 2 threes, and that just separated the two teams. Michigan State game was a really tough game. Tom Izzo slowed it down and kept his team in the game, and they had a chance to win that game. So they want to run a little bit. Do got a great defense, but they got a better offense, and so does Florida. Florida's the team, and Florida's the only team I have a ticket on. Still rooting for them at 14-1 to win it all. Might have to hedge on that a little bit. I might take the points because with the revenge factor,
right?
I think it might be worth trying to middle it. That'd be nice. And then if I do bet Houston over Florida at 9-1, I could cash one of those tickets, a 9-1 ticket or 14-1 ticket, if it is Houston and Florida. I'll cash either way.
Player props here as well with most of the stars in this Final Four. Walter Clayton Jr. for Florida. Total 3-point field goals made, 2.5 over -120. So, and you can also get total points, 20.5 for him. Really just good, fun stuff here for all of these players. It's very interesting because Houston's the only team, really, if you were looking at, I don't know what they call the award from the Final Four to the championship, but the most outstanding player or MVP-ish.
Yeah.
You can kind of pinpoint one guy. I just said Walter Clayton Jr. for Florida. We know Broome with Auburn. There might be another one there for him as well, and then Cooper Flagg
Right.
Houston is very by committee, I would say.
Yeah.
It's tough to pinpoint one.
Let me see who I have their highest rated player on Houston. I was just going to Florida. And
Sorry.
Walter, I didn't do I know you did the game logs, and you did the median numbers on all these guys?
I have the median numbers, yeah.
So that's good. You can give me the sheet, and I can start looking at the sheet, and then I'll tell you what we need. Yeah, so looking at their guys, you're right. I have so many of these guys rated equally. I would say Juwan Roberts, I have him rated the highest of all their players because of all the things he does. The only thing he doesn't do is shoot from threes, but he's such a great defender and a really good rebounder.
And that's Sampson's guy.
Yeah.
I think you can get a pretty good number on him.
He's not going to win it. I think value-wise overall, all the things he does is why he's such a good player. But scoring-wise, it's probably, it's hard to say. Sharp has been so good. Uzan and Cryer, those three just shoot the ball so well. This defense is so good. But those are their three top scorers. So you're right. Roll the dice. It could be any one of the three that get hot today. Sharp, Uzan, or Cryer. You don't know. And you did pin it down. The only other guy I would throw in is Concanimple for Duke. He's a better offensive player than Cooper Flagg is. He's just not as good defensively. Mainly these awards go to the best offensive player.
Yeah.
So if Knipple has a huge 2 games, which he could, this kid's really strong and athletic, and he can shoot the three and he can drive to the basket, and he can score in a lot of ways. And if you foul him, he's not missing his free throws. He's already shown me in clutch situations late in games, he's made every one of them. So
kind of overshadowed just because Cooper Flagg is
no doubt
on
about
that team.
Yeah. I'm sure he's coming out too, and he's going to get drafted in the first round. Not sure where, but Cooper Flagg's defense, I think, is what makes him a special player.
I still think with his name, him being first overall, there's a chance he could get it as well. It would be tough between those two,
yeah,
even though
he's going to fill the box score up too. So he can, if he scores 21 and plays a super defensive game, and Knipple has 24. Flagg still may get it if he outscores him. But if Cooper Flagg outscores Knipple, Cooper Flagg's getting that award for sure.
Of those guys that score for Houston, and you talked about Cryer there, he really struggled against Purdue, just 5 points. And you're right, the other guys had to step up, and, they barely won that game with that crazy inbound play there at the end. So it might be on him if they're going to do this to really have a great game. But Uzan is...
Oh, Sharp was really good that game at the end. Late, Sharp was really good, but Uzan was good throughout the entire night.
Yes. 22 points for him.
6 for 9 on the 3-pointers that night. That was just and he had 6 assists. He was definitely their best player that night.
Curious if there are some 3-point props on here. There's also first half. We've got team totals, so really a lot of options here to bet the Final Four, and that's the best part about sports betting. It's
Where's
just
let me see the player prop sheet.
Yes.
See what we got. You have your database opened?
I do.
All right, so
you want to start with?
There was individual player props. Walter Clayton Jr., 20.5 points. What is his median for the year? Points per game.
Points per game. Let me pull that all the way.
We'll stick with him too. He's got the 3-pointers, 2.5 3-pointers. Is he going to hit?
His median is 3.
Of 3-pointers?
Yes, it is. But and
again, I said they've shown over time the domes haven't affected 3-point shooters. Free throws and 2-pointers, which is kind of strange, but I would go over 2.5 for him.
His median, he'll take 8 a game.
Yeah. So
11 in conference tournament where they did win that. He took 11 in 2 of the 3.
All right, so
made 4 and 6. So yeah,
he's coming up big. Big time players can play big in big time games.
His median points is 18 though.
No, that's 20 and a half. So that's a little low. How about when we go to Elijah Martin?
Yep, Elijah Martin is on there.
Total points scored. What's his median? I should write these down. Everybody should be. I love the medians. I do would like it had you do in football. Wish I would have had you do here. Go back and look at the best defenses they played against to see what they did in those games. Interesting with Clayton at only 18 points per game. That's against everybody. If you look against what he's done against really good defensive teams, because Auburn is.
Well, and really interesting, I could even just pulled the neutral sites or neutral and away to see.
And that too, because the comfort of home sometimes overinflates values.
Well, this Elijah Martin, I mean, if just looking at it, it looks like he actually is better in neutral and away. His median points is 14. But, I mean, looking at the last few games, it's 17, 16, 10, 17, 18, 14, and then 10 against Tech. But, I mean, going back to games early in the season, 26 against Kentucky, 19 against North Carolina in a neutral. So, interesting. What is his on that sheet?
14 and a half.
Okay.
So you lean a little bit, maybe current form over there. I wanted to tell you, Clayton had 19 points in the first meeting against Auburn when his team scored 90. But as of late, what has he done? 30 against Tech, 13 against Maryland, 23, 23, 22, 22. So you look at just the last 6 games, throw out Norfolk because they're a weaker team. So his last 5 games is median and still 23 points, 22 points. So his number at 20 and a half, I think is a good number.
Yeah. I like the 3-pointers better.
Yeah. Let's see what he's done there as of late. 3, 2, 5, 4, 4, 6, 3, 5. They're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's gone over 7 of the last 8 games. So that might be a nice little over 2.5.
You can pull this. The spreadsheet is, in your drive.
That's okay.
Okay.
You got it. I wanted to look at, let's look at LJ Cryer.
Okay.
Cryer points and 3-pointers made.
I do have to take out one row there.
Cryer does have that experience too, playing at Baylor. I believe he did play in the national championship team.
Okay, points is 16 is the median.
Cryer was there the year they beat Gonzaga. He didn't play. Made a run the next year, a couple of runs. Okay, Cryer, 16 is his median for the season.
His median for the season is 16, yes.
So his over under 15.5.
Man.
So right there. But Cryer, 3-pointers is 2.5.
It is. His is 3 as well.
Okay.
Attempts is 7. Current form, though, I mean, not great. 2 versus Tennessee, 1 Purdue, 6 versus Gonzaga.
Yeah, the last 2 games he hasn't shot it as well, and we think this could hopefully turn into a half-court game, and that long, athletic Duke defense may, he could struggle a little bit here. So past that, and then Uzan.
Okay.
What do you got on him for points per game? There's no 3-pointer prop.
No 3-pointer prop for him. His is 2. And he really only takes 3.5.
What about
so
points,
3 or 4.
Points per game for Uzan?
Points per game is 10.
So his number's 11.5. And he has played, feel like some big games as of late. He only had 6 against Tennessee, and he had 7 against the Zags. So 2 of the last 3 games. He did have that really good game against Purdue. Before that, Arizona, he put up 25. BYU put up 14. Colorado 14. Baylor 12. Kansas 10. There's a really good defensive school. That's pretty good number. I wouldn't really want to go over there. Let's do some of these. 2 of the Giants. Johnny Broom for Auburn.
Okay.
Points per game.
Get to that sheet on this Excel. I would like no Cooper Flag rebounds or anything, right? Just points and 3-pointers.
Just the points on Cooper Flag here.
I am on Broom, though. So points per game is 20, the median.
And his number at 19.5. Right there. Broom had 25 against Michigan State and 22 against Michigan. Only had 8 against Creighton. Why? Because of Kalkbrenner.
Yep.
That his defense is outstanding, and he didn't get a lot of shots. He only took 9 shots. Only took 6 shots against Alabama State because they didn't need him. And I'm going to go back. He had 23 against Tennessee, 23 against Mississippi, 34 against Bama. I think that he's a guy that I would look over.
Points.
Yeah, over in points, over the 19.5. They need him today, and he's gonna get his points because he can shoot from 3, he can stretch the defense, but he's just such a monster inside, and he's a great offensive rebounder that he's gonna get his opportunities, and he's a decent enough free throw shooter to knock down his free throws. Not great, but, decent, 60%.
How did he do the first game against Florida?
He had 18 in that game. That was a loss. He was 7 for 16 in the paint. 16 opportunities. He gets 16 shots in the paint in this game. I think that he'll hit well. Now, I did say earlier that the dome doesn't affect threes over time, we've found out, but it does affect free throws and 2-point shots. So that gets a little bit scary when you're playing Johnny Broom over 19.5. How about Cooper Flagg?
Cooper Flagg.
Now we're going to a more defensive game.
Yes. His 3-pointers is just 1.
Yep, no
Take
3-point prop, but points.
18.
18, yeah, he's at 18.5.
7 total rebounds is the median. Had 9 against Alabama, 9 on the defensive side. So his defensive rebounds is 6 median. You can find something.
Let's go back
with
and
that.
look at the best defensive teams he's faced. Now, Alabama's good defensively. He had 16 in that game. Baylor's good defensively. He had 18 there. Regular season North Carolina, he had 15. They're not a great defensive team. Clemson, in a loss, he had 18. Kansas, in a loss, he had 13. Now, it was early in his career. He did have 26 against Kentucky. He started his career out so well. They started against Maine and Army, 18 and 13 points. Then he had 26 against Kentucky. He had 24 against Arizona early in the season. Arizona couldn't stop him. He had 24 early in the season and 30 late. For me, I'm probably going to go under that number for Cooper Flagg, under 18.5, because, again, my numbers say a lot lower. I see he doesn't score that many points against really good defenses. He's going to have a guy on him all game. They're going to switch up defenses on him all night long. Concanipple, what's his let's go over him. We got a prop on him, and this is the guy I like. I think he's a better offensive player. He shot it from 3 better. He shot it from 2 better, and he's a better free throw shooter.
Coming off of 2 games of 20 against Arizona, 21 against Bama, but his median is 14 points per game.
Now, the median, the line is 13.5. He's been really consistent here late in the season, too.
Very, yes.
He's, if it's not Cooper Flagg being the best player on the court, it's Concanipple being the best player on the court for Duke. That's how good he is.
What, does he have a 3-point or just points?
No. Oh, wait a minute. No, just points, 13.5.
Okay.
And there's one more. Tahad Pettiford is the last guy.
Let me see if I have him on here. I don't think I do. I have Proctor. No Proctor?
Yep. No.
No,
Did
that's
I miss
it.
Proctor? No, Proctor's been playing great. He's a senior. He's been there 4 years. He is just such a steady player.
Are you grabbing it really quick?
Yeah, I'm going to grab him really quick. give you an idea. They definitely need him to, Auburn needs him to play really well. And it's a game there could be, if there's one of the games going to be high scoring, I'm not going out on a limb and saying it because the total is a lot higher too.
Right.
Is the Auburn-Alabama game, which could feature a lot of scoring. So, Pettiford, 10 against Michigan State, 20 against Michigan, 23 against Creighton. Tennessee shut him down. He just was not able to do a thing against Tennessee in a loss at the end of the year. The two big games at the end of the year, they did lose A&M and Alabama. He had 19 in each one of those. So just looking at the end of the season, because he is a freshman, and I hate to go back and use any numbers for him early in the season because he did score in single digits in a lot of games early. It looks like he hit his stride a little bit in January when conference started. Then he hit the wall just like any other freshman would in February.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of his 8 games were single-digit games in February, and then March hit, and then he started hitting double figures. So I'm just going to use from March on. He had a couple of bad games. 3. His median is around 17.5 in March, and he's at 13.5. There's my guy. I'm going to root for the freshman today that hopefully he gets hot. I think that one may be the best bet on the sheet.
Pettiford. Okay.
Yep.
For Auburn there. Let's take a quick break. We've got baseball and hockey to still get to.
Okay.
And baseball, we do have one game starting in 10 minutes. Now, Bob Custer did ask on the chat, ask Sean if we could have some questions and answers at the end. And feel free, if you have any questions for us, please put them in the chat. We'd love to take a shot at answering them. Let's take a quick break. We get back. MLB and hockey up next.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. Or maybe you're in the mood for seafood. Big Sur Oyster Bar has fresh seafood prepared right before your eyes. Savor freshly shucked oysters, crab legs jambalaya, shrimp and lobster. Beers on tap and a selection of fine wines are perfect to pair with your seafood favorite. Whether lunch or dinner, you'll love this fun atmosphere, located just off the casino floor. Ready to shake things up? Step back in time and treat yourself to one of the oldest restaurant chains in the country. Steak and Shake, famous for original mouth-watering steak burgers and hand-dipped milkshakes in a variety of flavors. For some old-fashioned fun, try Steak and Shake.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. Make sure you get out to the South Point or the Rampart, the best locals casino in Las Vegas. Happy to be with you guys this morning. Please jump in the chat. Not much going on. I know it is early on a Saturday. An hour already for the show. Did a lot of college hoops talk, and now we are going to kind of rapid fire through MLB and NHL. A lot of games on the board, but if anything jumps out, we will take our time and really dive into it. Are you ready to start with the first game? We'll just go by rotation number.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to save your NHL sheet to my drive, so I had it saved, but I can do that at a later time. Let's go.
We'll have to go through those. Kind of a new system we have going on, and I've made a small mistake with my. Yeah, usually I just send you the power ratings, you put it in, and so we'll make sure that is updated as we go through.
I made you do more work.
I love it. I'm excited. Want more? Excited to do first 5 for MLB coming up here soon.
Oh boy.
Yes. Okay, let's go Padres and Cubs. Cubs win the first one. Imanaga looked very good yesterday. 3-1 win for them. That was their home opener. Now Pivetta on the mound for the Padres and Matthew Lloyd for the Cubs. -115 for the home team, and 7 under is the total.
Yeah, cold there in Chicago, and temperatures in the 40s, wind blowing in from center field. Not drastic, 5 to 10 miles an hour. It's usually the high number in Chicago. I don't know. The total's so low, I'm not going to take anything off. I have the Cubs buoyed $1.35, 7.5. I do like both these pitchers, but the numbers really just don't dictate a play. I guess the winning streak for the Cubs, if I add 20 cents, I make it 155. And I would have a 40-cent play on Chicago if is that where they're at right now, around $1.15?
$1.15. But I mean, the Padres won 7 before yesterday.
Yeah, and that's I still haven't come up with that since basketball's going. I am going to come up with like a vibe factor of how these teams are playing, and Padres are playing well, even though they lost. Can't really take anything away from them, so it's not fair to give either team any points to the betting line. So I'll say 135, lean to the Cubs, no play.
Phillies win yesterday. It's the Dodgers' first loss of the season. They win 3-2. So it was a lefty on the mound. We might want to pay attention to that. Aaron Nola today, pretty much a pick up -110, 8.5. And then the young pitcher on the other side, Sasaki for LA.
Yeah, and again, Phillies 4-game winning streak now, and they beat the Dodgers. Game 1 under, I had it over. This game, I made the Dodgers the favorite, $1.17. I was really surprised to see a lot of people opening the Phillies the favorite. The Dodgers are just so good.
Yeah.
And this Sasaki is going to be a really good pitcher. I think he's better now than Aaron Nola is, and we know Nola is a top 50 pitcher in Major League Baseball. But he has his ups and downs, and he's been a little inconsistent. I watched Aaron Nola play keep away too many times last year. Maybe he's not doing that this year, his first outing. 8 strikeouts, no walks. So I like that. He's not walking people. Sasaki has walked people. Was very wild in his first game, and I thought he'd have great command. But again, young guy, little bit of nerves. These young guys that do come over from other countries do struggle in their road games. So as I couldn't get yesterday over, maybe I should go back over here. I made it 9 in Philadelphia.
I thought that right away because, I mean, it was 2 really good pitchers we were going up against yesterday with these good offenses and might have the chance. I mean, like you just said, get some runners on with some walks.
Yeah, you get runners on with walks with these 2 teams. Look out. They can put some runs on the board. So I think I'm going to go right back with that because a lot of times that does happen with my handicap. And when you lose one day, that, the result actually comes right back at you the next day.
Talk about a hostile environment for that young pitcher going into Philly.
They're always a great crowd. So, yeah. And I, seen the struggles with him so far, 9 walks and 4 2/3.
Diamondbacks 6-4 win yesterday over the Nationals. The Nationals had the lead there for a while, but Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for the D-backs, and then we have Mitchell Parker for the Nats. Pretty big favorite. No, it's not really. -130. Not bad at all, but the road team is the favorite, and 9 over is the total.
I thought they should be really big favorite. I make Arizona $1.94. I bet Arizona already. It's a team I really like. Mentioned to them about them that I think they're better than the Padres in the long run. I think they're that good with that pitching staff and offensive team. I think they're a better offensive team than the Padres, and we'll see in the long run if that pans out or not. But give me the D-backs again here in this one.
Pretty short price there. I don't know what the run line is. We do have a road team. Is that a little bit of an interest?
Yeah, it would be a little bit of an interest that you can lay a shorter price or get a plus price with Arizona on the road. I wouldn't bet just the run line, for me, I'd bet 1%, lay in the $1.35 and maybe 1% on the run line. I'd split it up.
You have bullpens rated pretty evenly.
Yeah, and neither one of these pens are very good. You also got a 4-game losing streak by Washington, and if I add on 20 cents, I'm making this game 214. I talk a lot about basketball when I make a game 6, 7 in that range, and I can lay 1.5. Those are my favorite bets over the history of time. They cash the most. And I think in baseball, when I'm laying a short price in a game that I make, almost an out price at $2, those are really good plays. So I think I'd hate to even lay the 1.5 because they could win 2-1, 3-2, 4-3. I do have the total only 8. I don't have this game 10. That's another thing I do look at when I'm going to bet, if I'm going to bet a run line bet. So probably I'm going to bet Arizona, laying the $1.35, and I'll probably bet 2% on that.
Okay. Yes, it is a good price there. The Reds, they lose yesterday, but they didn't lose 1-0, so they did get a few hits in that one. This is a 4-game series. This is game 3. Brewers up 2-0 now on this series. It's Brady Singer versus Elvin Rodriguez.
Yes. Singer's a good pickup, I think, by the Reds, and he showed really well in his first game. 7 innings, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, a whip of 0.43. Again, these things go up and down, and we may see a bad start. I have to adjust 40 cents on this and make the Brewers 103. That's right in the ballpark. My total 7.5. Was bet down. Saw the circ open at 8.5. Now down to 8. I have no play here. I'm passing. The roof should be closed with the temperatures there in Milwaukee being low. So I'm almost 100% positive the roof will be closed, which lower scoring, and that's what my total is made at. My total is made with the roof closed because it's closed more than it's open.
Where did Singer come over from?
The Royals.
The Royals. Okay. Yes. I was trying to look that up quickly. The Braves finally got their first win and did it in dramatic fashion. 10-0 over the Marlins. They're another big favorite here today, minus 240, total 8.5.
I made it $1.84. I did, I made a 1% play on the Marlins yesterday, plus $2. Didn't trust the Braves, but they kind of sense of urgency with that losing streak. They needed to get a W to feel better about themselves, and I still can't make them this high. No play for me either way. A little bit of a lean to the over. The weather in Atlanta is not bad. I think it's going to be a little warm there even, and I did my college baseball today, and looking at this game, high of 85 in Atlanta, but this game is being played at 7 o'clock at night. It's still going to be in the low 80s. I think that'll be a little warm, 55% humidity. That could be a nice night there. The ball could carry very well in Atlanta tonight.
Very good college baseball day for you yesterday. This game is about to start right now. 10-10 Chicago White Sox and Detroit Tigers. Tigers are a big favorite. I think it is off the board now, minus 227.5. I don't know how much you care about splits, but I was going to bring this game up because it was all Tigers, 88% handle, 92% bets. And I was curious if that made you lean to wanting to take a little bit of the White Sox.
I only made the game $1.58. Davis Martin looked really good in his first performance. 6 innings, no earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. I don't like the walk to strikeout ratio, but Reese Olson struggled in his first start, and I really do like Reese Olson. But I don't see a huge difference here in this game. I'm probably going to play the White Sox here, plus that price, that big price, small bet. I might not even bet 1% here. I'll probably bet a 0.5% play on the White Sox.
See what you can get here. Game did just start.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm not going to bet it. I didn't bet that earlier, and I should have. I know the only thing I bet was Arizona for a 1% bet. I'm going to add to that to make it a 2% bet. I've talked myself into playing a little bit more there.
Yesterday, Astros was a good spot after coming off a sweep at home, getting swept at home. Big win for them over the Twins, 5-2. Spencer Arrighetti gets the start today against Bailey Ober. Arrighetti, really good first start for him this year.
And Ober was bad. I had Ober in that start. Did not pitch well. I made this game 105-9. Didn't check the weather yet. I didn't get down this far. Minneapolis. I'm guessing it's going to be very cold there. I'm going to check the winds. Northwest winds. Very windy there today. 44 degrees is the high. This is going to be an afternoon game. And high barometric pressures. So I'm going to pass on betting it over.
Okay.
My number says over, but I think the books made the better number at 7.5.
Royals and Michael Waka, small favorite at home, minus 115 is the number here at the South Point, and 8 under, minus 115. Any differences for you here?
I made the Royals $1.16, but there is a 3-game losing streak by the Orioles to make this 131. Still not big enough for me to have a play there. My total, I have 9. Checking the weather, though, in Kansas City. They're probably going to get some rain this afternoon. It is a 3 o'clock start there. Winds are from the north, which will be straight in from left center field. That's going to hurt the offenses. So my numbers say over, but with that wind blowing in, I'm passing.
That's why you got to do all of this checking here for each little part. Rangers, 3-game winning streak. Take game 1 against the Rays, 5-2. Now you got the ace, Jacob deGrom, on the mound for them. They are minus 165, total 7.5.
I have a Rangers $1.50 and 8. Like both pitchers. I mean, if both these guys were in midseason form, I would make a bigger adjustment on my total and play that game under. I don't know. I haven't checked yet either if the Dome Globe will be open or closed for this game. It is a 6 o'clock start at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Weather could be beautiful, and if it's open, I'm going to add to it and hope that these guys, since they're not in midseason form, and I know they're not. I just need them to be off just a little bit, and I could get this total to go over. So I'll have to check. If the roof is open at Globe, I'm going to bet over. Man,
who did Bradley see that first game? 7 strikeouts, no walks.
I'm not sure who he pitched against, but Taj Bradley is a very talented young pitcher. He's got really good stuff. And he's got experience in the big leagues. He's been up a couple of years with the Rays.
Are you checking?
No.
Okay,
Gonna
moving
move
on.
It's already 10,
okay, Tanner.
15. I got a lot of work to do, okay. Alex. I got to get out of here by 10:30.
The Guardians get a win yesterday, 8-6 over the Angels. Now Tanner Bybee on the mound. $1.50 favorite, total 8.
I made it 40 and 8. It is right on. Weather okay in Southern California, about 60 degrees tonight, which is a little cool. The ball just doesn't carry, so I could not make a case for the over. Could make a case for the under if I had to, but my total is right there, so I don't have a play either way. My number is really projected at what that ballpark would offer you at 6 o'clock at night, so it's right there.
Must be wind in Pittsburgh because this total is up to 10 between the Yankees and the Pirates. We got there yesterday with the Yankees and the run line. They won 9-4. Bailey Falter for the Pirates against Marcus Stroman.
Well, that ballpark, the wind, if there is wind, it's going to swirl. It's not going to help play.
Okay.
I see there's a chance of rain there tonight. It's a 4 o'clock game. It's an afternoon game. But there's thunderstorms and showers most of the day there. I made the total 8.5. Stroman off his first start, I think he'll be better, and I do like Bailey Falter, the lefty for the Pirates. I'm going to look at under 10 to go under in that game myself. If it's up that high, yeah.
Who did the Yankees hit when they hit 3 home runs in the first 3 pitches? Nestor Cortez?
Yeah.
He's a lefty, right?
He's a lefty, yeah.
Does that scare
and they
you?
They have a top lineup. No. I mean, that's a fluke outcome.
Okay.
That not happening again.
I mean, the Yankees offense they look really good right now. Aaron Judge he's got 6 homers already,
yeah.
so it just scares me.
It's still baseball. They're gonna make their outs, and if they don't get hits with runners on base, if there's not runners on base, they're not gonna get those runs. So
Boston minus 130 at home against the Cardinals. 8.5 over is the total in this one.
I have the Cardinals a favorite $1.20, but I'm adding 15 cents for Boston because they've won 3 in a row. So I'm in at 105. I have no value there. My total at 9.5 leans to the over. And let me check for you in Boston. 02213 zip code, and it's going to be a lot of rain there today. Chance of rain 100%. Winds will be blowing right field to left field in Fenway at 4 o'clock. But again, I think there's going to be a lot of rain here. It is cold in the 40s, miserable weather. Hitters don't like miserable weather. So I have no play in the game.
That stinks. Yesterday, 13-9, so it was a very high scoring game.
Oh my gosh, yesterday, yeah, they put up a lot of runs early. Fetty gave up a couple home runs early. Buehler looked really good, and then all of a sudden, he didn't look good.
Yeah.
So they saw him for the second time around and hit him pretty hard.
Mets on a 2-game winning streak. They are $1.25, total 7.5.
I'm at 104 and 8.5, but again, I know it's going to be cold there in New York. The conditions are not really good for hitters, so I will pass. I mentioned about J.P. Sears the last time.
Yep.
That I really like him, and he started out the season fast this year, 6 2/3, allowed 1 run, no walks, 7 strikeouts, 0 walks, 7 strikeouts. Great start. Marquez did not give up any runs in his first start. And 0-4. Did I jump a game?
No, you're there. You're fine.
No walks, 4 strikeouts. So my number 10.5, but the weather in Denver is not good. I believe they have north winds. Let's check that real quick. If they do, it's in from center field, but doesn't look like it's going to be that windy there. They're going to get some snow. It's going to be cold. We're actually getting a little snow showers maybe right now for this game at 6 o'clock their time. 41 degrees, northeast winds. The winds aren't that heavy. I would still take at least a run off in the cold temperature, and I'd make it 9. I think the books have the right number. It's so hard to fathom books putting up a 9 in Colorado. In a field before the humidors were ever invented, this park averaged 15, 16 runs a game.
So you like both starting pitchers, but you are not interested in going under first 5.
My total's right there. And again, these pitchers, they flip-flop, one good start, one bad start a lot of times. These are 2 guys that are not on the, in a category I could say are consistent, are going to pitch that way every day. These guys I like them both, but my ratings say they're both pretty average.
You went over the Blue Jays and the Mets pretty quickly, but I didn't think you had anything. Are you interested in that over?
That's why I thought I skipped. I made it pick an 8.5. I leaned to the over, but I said it's going to be cold. I will not bet that game over.
Mariners and the Giants. Robbie Ray, $1.30, 7.5.
I'm a big Mariners fan. Everybody likes the Giants. I don't have them rated that high. I will readjust my ratings, after we got a pretty good start to the season on Monday, and I will start to readjust my offensive ratings for each team and how they're hitting righties and lefties as well. So I, could have a different offensive rating for these teams come Monday or Tuesday. But right now, I think Seattle's the better offensive team. Giants have won 5 in a row. I'll make the adjustment and make this pick. Small lean to the Mariners, but it's only a 13-cent lean, and my total at 7.5 is right there.
Can't even jump in first 5.
No.
Both pitchers pretty equal.
Don't really have anything there.
If you pull up the hockey sheet on your computer, I'll just run through the number, and you can tell us if we have any differences.
Okay.
We want to dive in.
Yep.
Rangers in New Jersey already starting. It's been all Devils this year between those 2.
Let's go Rangers. Has it? Well, that's revenge factor.
All Devils, 5-1 and 5-0. So.
Oh, really? Well, the Rangers will be ready for this game. I hope they're winning.
End of the first 0-0. So they're in it. Florida here at South Point, minus 135, 5.5 under.
125, no play on the side, but you have 5 under. So looking at the under in this game to make sure both teams need the game, and I believe they do.
They do.
Sens are still battling. Florida hasn't clinched anything. I think they're 3rd in the division. So under 5.5.
I do like that one. Dallas, 260 at home against Pittsburgh, total 6 over.
297, 6.5 the total, and I could see this same type of game, Dallas, could get out in front, and Pittsburgh's still trying hard. I said that against St. Louis, and I did lay the 1.5 with St. Louis that day, and we win 5-4. And I said Pittsburgh's trying hard still. They're still playing hard. So Hard for me to, I guess, bet this game either way. Maybe over's the play.
I think over.
St. Louis and Pittsburgh, I did bet that over because Pittsburgh's scoring more goals than they're giving up goals. But Dallas at home, more of an under team. And they have gone under 4 straight home games. Pittsburgh 4 straight overs. But if Pittsburgh may be the team to, this game could be played more at their liking because they have no defense. Dallas could get out 3-4 to 1 early in this game and force this to be an easy over.
Yes, and we did take Dallas puck line the other night against Nashville,
Yes.
and they scored 4 in the third period.
Yes, they did. It was a really good third period for us in that game.
Okay, let's keep it going. So over 6 is the lean there.
Yeah.
Vancouver -180, 5.5 over -125. Fourth game between these two.
Vancouver 215 and 5.5 over.
215, 5.5 over. So a little bit of lean to the home team.
Okay.
Against the Ducks. Kings -175, 5.5 flat.
You got them 148, 5.5, and the Kings have that great record at home. So you lean to the Edmonton Oilers, but still without a lot of players in their lineup.
I'm pretty sure I bumped the Kings up at home
Yeah.
drastically, and that didn't get into that rating. So
All right.
let's stay away from that one.
Okay.
We've got Tampa Bay, $2 on the road against Buffalo, 6.5.
$1.90 and 6.5
Uh,
over, and they've gone over 4 straight games. Buffalo has.
Yep. We'll
So-
skip that. Colorado -140, 5.5 over -115.
Wow, got them 45. Both teams on a winning streak. St. Louis 11 in a row, 10 in a row at home. That's interesting that this whole winning streak has basically come at home than anywhere else. Colorado has won 4 straight on the road. They're playing good hockey too. I think both teams trying to win here. A total of 6. What'd you say the total was?
5.5.
Oh, so nothing there.
I know. I was hoping we could take an under.
I would not go over.
No.
Okay, Philadelphia and Montreal.
Canadians -170, 6 under -115.
You got it 163 and 6. We can move on.
Okay. Toronto -170, 6.5.
230 and 6.5.
So Toronto.
Toronto's definitely
did-
worth a look and maybe laying a puck and a half.
No.
Columbus struggles on the road. Their median is they lose 3.5 to 2.
You're right. You are right on the road. But you brought them up the other day. Remember, you're saying I had them below average,
Yeah.
but they're more of an average. So I did upgrade their rating as well. But it's a lean to the home team. 6.5. Yeah.
Winnipeg and Utah.
Pretty much a pick 'em, -115 for the Jets, 5.5.
It's pick 'em.
I'm sure I have it a lot higher than that.
Why? How is that game pick 'em?
That's a great question.
don't-
Sean even agreed.
I don't see how they this is the number 1 team in hockey. I don't care who they're playing. Now Hellebuck, is he not going to play again?
What does it say on our sheet? That should be correct.
Yeah, I see in Winnipeg $1.15 across the board. That's really surprising. I thought they'd have a big letdown after beating Vegas. That was the game they wanted. So I think I think this could be a flat spot. And it may not be Hellebuck again. It might be Comrie and the backup.
He's expected.
Who is Hellebuck?
Yep.
That's a huge adjustment for hoping for a letdown, but Utah still battling for playoffs. So
The books
I would not want to
are
lay
a
it.
lot higher on Utah than me, though.
I would not want to lay it with Winnipeg after beating the Golden Knights.
All right. Well,
And they may have stayed that night here too. So there could be some Vegas flu for them.
the Canes, 250, 5.5 over.
210 and 5.5. Boston's just completely given up. 10 straight losses. Carolina.
I think they
needs
are
this
the
game.
third worst team in the league right now. Maybe not
Yeah,
third, but they're
Carolina
up there.
needs the game. You just lay the puck and a half with Carolina. I didn't look and see where they're at. I can check real quick.
Sean actually has that updated sheet. He could probably throw it up there for you.
Doesn't take too long to get
For
there.
Eastern Conference?
Carolina second in the division. They have clinched a playoff spot. They're 11 points behind Washington and 9 ahead of the Devils.
Jeez.
I'm not sure if this is a spot they need the game, if there's motivation for them or not here. But they are the far better team, and Boston has completely given up. There'll probably be nobody in the arena for Boston Only the true and diehard fans will be there. They'll be playing in front of an empty house. You can probably get tickets for $10 a seat tonight in Boston.
Wow. Seattle, 170, total 6.
75 and 6.5 over. You like it over. We know San Jose's been eliminated for a while. Seattle also eliminated a meaningless game between these two teams. I like going over meaningless games. So over 6 is a nice little play there.
Okay, let's write that down as well. And last on the board, looking for a bounce back spot here. The Knights facing Calgary, $1.65, 5.5 over.
You got them $1.59 and 5.5 over.
Okay.
So, I do believe big game for both teams. Calgary still fighting for a playoff spot. Knights trying to clinch the Pacific, only 3 points ahead of the Kings. They need to come to play. Both teams playing hard. So I don't see a play there. Your numbers are right there. The motivation's the same for both teams.
And I just love getting that good plus price with Calgary at home. So we'll just stay away from that one and not bet against the Knights. 1 minute break.
1 minute.
We'll fill out these whiteboards when we get back, giving you our best bets this Saturday, April 5th.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Welcome back. Checking in with the chat. This is Sports by the Book. I'm Alex White alongside Kenny White. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday. Got to a lot here. Basketball is starting with the Crown, and then 3 more games to go. If you missed anything, please go back, rewatch it. We did almost a full hour on college hoops and at least 45 minutes on the Final Four. So go ahead and follow back with that. It is time for our whiteboard plays, though. This is our best bets of the day. So we go through almost every game, and then we narrow it down. Call it our whiteboard plays of the day.
You're stalling for me, I know. I needed to put my prop bet on there for the game. So 5 plays I have for the show today. 2 and 4 my last 2 days on the whiteboard. So I need to pick it up here today.
You want to start it off?
Yeah. Houston plus the 5. It's not my top game on the top. Houston under was my biggest play in this game. So I put that first, and I was only going to use that. But looking to take the 5.5. Don't think that's going to happen. There's been some money for Houston. I'm sorry. And I see a lot of 4.5s in the market right now. So I guess I have to erase that half, that hook, take that off. So the best you can get is 5 now with Houston. The second game in the Crown, UCF and Villanova, I'm going under there, 156.5. Obviously, these have been overinflated from some earlier games, but now down to crunch time in the Final Four, this means at least $3,000 to every player. It could make a little difference for them. They'd love to get that money. And then the prop bet, Tahad Pettiford for Auburn, over 13.5. I think he's going to have a big game for Auburn. I think that's a little higher scoring game. Major League Baseball, under Pittsburgh and the Yankees. Doesn't scare me. Big number. I'll go under that 10.
Very good. All right, let's have a winning day here. I am going with Duke and Houston, my best play of the day. I got under 137, so you might want to get that number too. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Houston money line to win this game outright and shock Duke with that defense. I like 3 totals in hockey today. Panthers Sens under 5.5. We've got the Penguins and the Stars over 6, and the Kraken and the Sharks over 6 as well. We did have one more prop bet I liked, over 2.5 3-pointers. Who was that? The first person we talked about? Was that Clayton Walker?
That was Clayton. Yeah, Walter Clayton Jr. I think that's a good over.
I said it wrong. Yes.
Yeah. Walter Clayton
Walter
Jr. Over
Clayton.
2.5 threes.
Yes, love it. I'm going to jump in on that one so I have some action in that first game. Have a great Saturday, everybody. We will be back Monday to break down the championship game. Look out for our women's championship special coming soon. For Kenny White, I'm Alex White. For Drew Dog and Sean, we'll see you all again on Monday.